Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash the subscribe button and also hit the like. Anyway, back to boxing, a prediction video for you guys, and we will be predicting Mariusz Wach versus Kevin Kingpin Johnson. This fight goes down in Poland and it takes place on the 12th of June. This is my first prediction video in ages because of COVID-19, and looking forward to doing this one. A semi-interesting heavyweight fight, or maybe I find it interesting just because we've not seen any boxing for quite some time. Maybe this fight is the equivalent of a fat girl being in a room full of men, and because she's the only woman, she looks attractive, you know? Maybe it's that effect, but enough of the analogies, let's get into the prediction. Mariusz Wach has a record of 35 wins, 6 defeats, 19 of his 35 wins coming by way of knockout. Kevin Johnson has a record of 34 wins, 16 defeats, 1 draw, 18 of his 34 wins coming by way of knockout. Mariusz Wach is listed as 6'7.5" with an 82-inch reach, and Kevin Johnson is listed as 6'3" with an 82-inch reach. So both guys have the same reach, but Mariusz Wach is 4.5 inches taller than Kevin Johnson. Mariusz Wach is 40 years old, as is Kevin Johnson. He is also 40 years old. Both guys are orthodox fighters, so that's the tail of the tape out of the way. Now, when you look at this fight, to me, I am quite clear in my prediction. First and foremost, both of these guys have very good chins. Kevin Johnson has only been stopped 3 times in his 16 defeats. He's gone the distance with the likes of Tyson Fury, Vitaly Klitschko, Derek Chisora, Daniel Dubois, and Mariusz Wach again has only been stopped 3 times. He himself has been the distance with the likes of Dillian Whyte and Vladimir Klitschko. So both of these guys are very durable, so I don't really envisage a stoppage in this fight, especially considering where both guys are at in their careers. Both of these guys really are past their best, so I would be surprised if anybody forces a stoppage in this bout. To me, this fight will come down purely to who is the more busy fighter in the ring, who is further in journeyman mode, and I've got to say, out of these 2 fighters, I think Kevin Johnson is more in journeyman mode than Mariusz Wach. Mariusz Wach will actually still give it a go, he'll still try and fight, whereas Kevin Johnson these days really fights to survive, and he really has slipped into that journeyman mindset. I mean, if you look at Mariusz Wach's last fight, which was a loss to Dillian Whyte, he actually really surprised me in that fight. He landed some good shots, he gave Dillian Whyte some problems, he actually buzzed Dillian Whyte a couple of times. So that was quite a good performance despite it being a loss. Whereas Kevin Johnson, you know, against the likes of Martin Bakole, he really didn't have anything to offer. In fact, Kevin Johnson got stopped in that fight. So to me right now, despite these guys being non-factors and despite these guys being gatekeepers, I still believe Mariusz Wach has more ambition than Kevin Johnson. I still believe he fights to win, whereas Kevin Johnson fights to survive. And to me, that's the key in this fight. I believe Mariusz Wach is going to be the fighter who is more inclined to force the fight, and he's the guy who's going to put pressure on Kevin Johnson and throw more punches. Kevin Johnson these days, you know, back in the day he was quite a fleet-footed heavyweight with a nice jab, he could move a bit, he had quick reaction times, but these days Kevin Johnson, he's very static, he'll sit on the ropes, sit in the corner, he'll try and roll shots, block shots and slip shots, but he doesn't really throw back. He'll throw back the odd counter here and there, but there's really not much offense coming back. He really just kind of shells up and absorbs punishment. Ultimately, I just see Mariusz Wach being the more active fighter. I think you'll see him pull with that jab a little bit more. He'll throw that jab out there. When Kevin Johnson is stationary, Mariusz Wach will throw shots. What gets through, I don't know, because Kevin Johnson is quite good defensively, but Mariusz Wach is going to be moving his hands, whereas Kevin Johnson will be shelled up and not really doing much. And that is obviously just going to result in Kevin Johnson losing rounds based on activity. Kevin Johnson, yeah, he can throw the odd counter here and there. He's got a snappy, straight right-hand counter. He'll kind of catch and shoot with it, to coin a Paulie Malignaggi phrase. And he's also got a pretty stiff jab, but he really doesn't throw enough of these shots. So any success in this fight that Kevin Johnson does have, I expect it to be here and there and not really all that regular, to be honest. And in the meantime, Mariusz Wach is going to be the guy who's forcing the fight. The work may not be pretty, it may even not be that effective, but he's going to be the busier guy who's throwing punches. And ultimately, I think that's the difference in this fight. I just believe Kevin Johnson has really slipped into journeyman mode and he's got no ambition whatsoever anymore. I don't think he really cares about winning fights these days. I just think he's on the circuit as a journeyman to make a few more paydays before he finally retires. Whereas Mariusz Wach still has some pride, he still has that fighting heart, that fighting instinct, and ultimately, I believe that's going to carry him through in this fight. Like I said, I don't really expect a stoppage. You know, like I say, historically, both of these guys have good chins, and ultimately I don't see either guy having enough to really force a stoppage. Neither one of these guys are particularly big punchers either, to be honest. So I fully expect this one going to points. I'm not actually sure whether this is a 10-rounder or a 12-rounder, but regardless, my prediction is Mariusz Wach by a unanimous decision. I just believe he's going to be the more busy guy in this fight. I just can't envisage a way Kevin Johnson wins this one, unless Mariusz Wach picks up an injury, like he did in the Jarrell Miller fight, like a bad injury, or something like that. I can't see Kevin Johnson winning the fight. You know, I just believe he's going to get outworked. But you never know. Kevin Johnson, 2-3 years ago, he actually upset Francesco Pianetta by knockout, and he wasn't expected to win that fight. Maybe he can replicate some of that form and get a win here, but ultimately I just don't see it. I really don't see it. Why am I even talking about this fight, man? It's crazy. It really is crazy. Kevin Johnson versus Mariusz Wach. Here I sit, making a prediction on this fight. Times really have gone crazy, but yeah, I miss boxing. I love boxing, and this is one of the first fights coming back, so I thought I would make a quick prediction for this bout. But yeah, why not? Why not? And listen, you guys who are following this channel, you've noticed a few changes in my type of content. Rest assured, this is always going to be a boxing channel. The same sort of boxing content will always be here. Once lockdown is lifted, once boxing comes back, you'll get the old regular content again. But on top of that, expect a few more of those troll type videos like the 78 one or the BFTB one. I wouldn't even say they're troll videos because they are based in reality. But you know what they say about comedy. Comedy does have a social commentary element to it, and that's how I see those sort of videos, you know. But yeah, they're not going to be on the channel every day or every other day, just now and again when I want to talk some shit, blow some steam, that kind of thing. But listen, always expect this channel to be a boxing channel. I want to make that clear. But yeah, ultimately I'm just having a bit more fun with it, you know. It's really not that deep, so yeah, just that's another little quick update for you guys. Anyway, Kevin Johnson versus Mariusz Wach. My prediction is Mariusz Wach by a unanimous decision. Share your thoughts below. Who are you picking in this fight? Are you looking forward to this fight? Share your thoughts below. Peace.